Imagine a day when your boss starts serving you. No school, courts closed, people gambling openly in the streets, everyone exchanging gifts, and the whole city shouting, Io Saturnalia. This isn't science fiction. This actually happened every December in ancient Rome. It was called Saturnalia. For several days, the entire social order was flipped upside down. Slaves became masters, and masters became servants. Today, we're diving into one of the strangest and most beloved festivals in Roman history. Why an entire empire celebrated chaos every single year. Saturnalia honored the ancient god Saturn, god of agriculture and harvest. According to Roman myth, Saturn once ruled over a legendary golden age, a time when no one was a slave, everyone was equal, and the earth produced food on its own. Saturnalia originally lasted just one day, December 17th, but over time, it stretched to a full week, sometimes shortened or extended by imperial decree. Through this festival, Romans tried to briefly recreate that golden age, a time when everyone was equal. That's why, for a few days, all social boundaries, at least on the surface, disappeared. The most astonishing part of Saturnalia: during these days, slaves could give orders to their own masters. In some cases, masters genuinely cooked meals for their slaves or served them at the table. The Roman writer Macrobius, in his work titled Saturnalia, wrote that during this period, slaves could dine at the same table as their masters, and even joke with them, something utterly unthinkable on any other day of the year. Of course, this wasn't real freedom. Once the festival ended, everyone returned to their place. But some historians view this ritual as a pressure release valve for society. Flip the order once a year, then restore it even more firmly afterward. During Saturnalia, every household or group of friends chose their own festival king, Saturnalicious princeps, usually by drawing lots. This king had the right to give silly, sometimes completely absurd orders to everyone else for the duration of the festival. For example, he might order someone to sing a song, dance, or even jump into cold water. Some historians believe this figure later influenced European traditions like the medieval Feast of Fools and even the King of the Bean traditions found in later Christmas customs. The idea of the mock king was so powerful that historians note similar rituals took place among soldiers in the Roman army as well. Saturnalia is considered the origin of Rome's gift-giving tradition. People exchanged small presents called sigillaria, clay figurines, wax statuettes, candles, and sometimes even short joking poems tucked in alongside the gifts. The Roman poet Martial wrote entire collections of short, humorous verses, specifically meant to be given as festival gifts, describing this custom in detail. In the streets, people greeted each other by shouting, Io Saturnalia, roughly meaning, hooray for Saturnalia. Very similar to how we say, happy holidays, today. Many historians consider Saturnalia the ancestor of modern Christmas and New Year celebrations. Gift-giving, festive cheer, and gathering with family may all trace back to this very festival. On ordinary days, gambling for money was illegal in Rome, but during Saturnalia, this rule was temporarily suspended. Even senators and ordinary citizens openly rolled dice in the streets. According to historical sources, Emperor Augustus loved gambling with friends during Saturnalia and even wrote letters describing his own wins and losses during the festival. Children played various games with nuts while adults used dice called tesserae for betting and competitions. Even slaves were allowed to gamble during these days, something strictly forbidden the rest of the year. During Saturnalia, Romans traded their usual formal togas for a lighter, colorful garment called the synthesis, a much more relaxed, festive outfit. Men also wore a cone-shaped felt cap called the pileus. This cap was normally worn only by freed slaves, a symbol meaning I am now free. But during Saturnalia, everyone wore it, even people who were still enslaved, symbolically declaring that today we are all free. This tradition was so powerful that centuries later, during the French Revolution, the idea of the Liberty Cap, bonnet rouge, was directly inspired by this very Roman Peleus. Saturnalia was celebrated with grand household feasts. Families invited each other over, prepared long and elaborate meals, and wine flowed almost without restriction. A stark contrast to more restrained everyday drinking habits. Musicians played flutes, tibia, and lyres in the streets and homes, while dancers performed for crowds. According to some sources, even Senate sessions and court proceedings were suspended during these days. Essentially a statewide holiday break. Children had their own special customs, too. They received new toys and were included in adult feasts, something that rarely happened on ordinary days. Saturnalia began in the 3rd century BC and was celebrated for centuries, right up until the decline of the Roman Empire. After Christianity became the empire's official religion, many historians note that the date chosen for Christmas, December 25th, falls right at the tail end of the Saturnalia celebrations. Interestingly, many elements of Saturnalia, gift-giving, gathering with family, festive cheer, even the idea of freedom, carried forward into later European holidays, including Christmas and New Year's. Some modern historians describe Saturnalia as society's annual pressure valve. A rigidly hierarchical Roman society let off steam once a year, only to return to strict order right afterward. Saturnalia shows us that even the most rigidly hierarchical society, like Rome, needed an upside-down world once a year. Master and slave, rich and poor, became equal for a few days, and laughter, gifts, and freedom ruled instead. Perhaps that's exactly why this festival still lives on today, 2,000 years later, in Christmas, New Year's, and even modern office holiday parties. If you enjoyed this video, hit like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. Next time, we'll explore another astonishing historical ritual, Saturnalia,